Welcome to Entertainment with Les. Whether you like her or not. However, it appears that she was still unwelcome in Hollywood long after it happened. She has discovered additional ways to engage the media and remain current. I'm counting down the top 10 reasons Hollywood won't cast Jada Pinkett Smith anymore, part 2. So would you miss Jada Pinkett Smith as? She vanished from the spotlight, and you may tell us about it in the comments section below as we begin our listing. Number 10. When compared to toxic masculinity, toxic femininity is typically more difficult to detect. Because a lot of it is hidden by the expression of fake emotions, Vegeta is on display. A history of defaming other men or women, showing envy through backstabbing, and exploiting others to get an unfair advantage. People have praised her for her terrible behavior, labeling her as empowering throughout her marriage. Jada has stated that she was made to wed and that she cried throughout the process. When she had to enter her partnerships while 3 months pregnant with her first child. Abuse of her on an emotional, verbal, and psychological level is a result of toxic femininity. Behavior has even harmed subsequent generations. In order for her children to understand what a healthy relationship is, she needs to focus on herself and restore her life. Number 9. Fight after Kobe's demise in 2020 with Snoop Dogg. Jada Pinkett Smith didn't hesitate to speak up. Snoop Dogg for his remarks on Gayle King and the incident. She began a contentious discussion on misogyny. After King mentioned that a lady had accused Kobe of making unwanted advances, Snoop posted a video on his Instagram discussing the situation and making fun of King's appearance before urging her to back off. "We will come grab you." Jada invited the rapper to her Red Table Talk show as a result in an effort to set the record straight. She would say, pointing, "My heart sank when you first came out and admitted that you were aware of Gayle." Jada then gave her old pal an explanation. What he said caused her to feel wounded because it was directed towards a woman. In the end, Snoop did apologize to King. After Jada made him look bad on her show by posting on his Instagram, "If you're wrong, you need to make things right. I had better parenting than that. As a result, I would like to publicly apologize to you for the words I used, calling you by your name and generally being disrespectful." But did Jada really need to make him seem bad? This might have just been a friendly discussion amongst pals in private. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming at Number 8. We communicate poorly. Back in 2018, during a Red Table Talk episode, Wilbur admitted that he and Jada had very little in the way of communication. When they started to argue, instead of talking about him, she simply enjoys shouting obscenities at him. Their problems as regular people will then be brought up, which will mark a pivotal point in their interaction. When he mentioned that there were 20 other players when they were playing Pictionary. This includes Wilson Trey, who at the time had his son from a previous marriage sitting on his lap. He had just turned 1 or 2. Jada swore at him in front of everyone by using the phrase "will would. You silence it with AF." In order to explain to Jada, Will even had to escort her into a different room. In light of his upbringing, he didn't want to be in a relationship with someone who used violent or profane words. Number 7. Even decades after his passing, dealing with Tupac. His connection with Jada Pinkett Smith remains a mystery, particularly in light of something she allegedly said. "I was a dealer when we initially got together. That's how we got started," the actor continued. That life behind, that something really horrible forced her to depart. However, as she was leaving, she became more deeply attached with Tupac, and their relationship became one of survival. She once had to leave the band for $100,000. He was still puzzled by their friendship, especially now that Will Smith has acknowledged having a mental jealousy of the late artist. Their attachment to each other pained him. Jada loved Pops, and this made him more to the point. Even as a living person, he was unable to be friends with POC. Number 6. The open marriage the Smiths have received a lot of scrutiny over. Their marriage, especially since Jada addressed the rumors surrounding it in 2009. When she told Atlanta's Q100, "I've heard all the things. Their marriage is not real. He's gay, she's gay." They swing. The actor then dismissed the idea. that they had anything to prove. Then in an interview later with US Weekly, she would add on to her claims by adding that people are going to think whatever they wanted, and it was too hard to be in a pretend marriage in recent years. However, they have admitted that they have an unconventional approach to their marriage, as when it comes to their relationships, they have chosen monogamy. On top of that, they've given each other trust and freedom with the belief that everybody has to find their own way, and they do this so their marriage just doesn't feel like a prison. But honestly, it just sounds like this was all Jada's choosing. Number 5. In the aftermath of August Alsina's shocking interview, she went to the red table. Jada would tweet about the need for some healing and would acknowledge it, that she would be the topic of her upcoming red table discussion. Will would just accept everything as she forced him to come on the episode and provide his perspective on the events. She made up the story that she was momentarily apart from Will. The pair then said that they had also reconciled when she had her affair with August. Will and Jada just couldn't stay away from one another, with the clip going viral so rapidly once August was out of the picture. Instead of using the words affair and Jada simply kept saying the word entanglement. She rapidly became a target for jokes online, just like a photo purportedly depicting Will in tears because this show made him look bad in front of a team. Number 4. Took Will from his former wife. Will Smith had a past connection with Sherry Fletcher before he and Jada got married, it seems. He and his ex-wife split up before Jada actually began seeing him. She even acknowledged that she was a housebreaker. Because I didn't understand marriage when she stated that. I had no idea what divorce was. I probably ought to have retreated. But it's clear that she didn't revert to that. She simply continued moving forward throughout the procedure. She then started acting a little distant. Eventually, he even had to put his ex-wife in her place over the matter when it came to her. Will was upset with Jada, and after she and Fletcher had a phone altercation, Jada would later remark that he believed this to be the mother of my kid Trey. You have no business there. Jada did, however, make sure she wanted to prove that she was the one and Fletcher was not, in order to put Fletcher in her place. Number 3. Chris Rock for all of the 2022 events. Chris Rock and Oscar winners Will and Jada Smith have a history together. Jada and the comedian have been at odds since the 1990s. The beginning of their conflict dates back to 1997, when he attacked Jada on his late-night show called Before She Wed Will. They started the Jada roast on the Chris Rock show, when he stated, "You know, there were powerful speeches from people like Maxine Waters and Winnie Mandela at the Million Women March. Here are some wise remarks from the beautiful Ingrid Pinkett." Kristen continued by cutting a clip of Jada speaking during the march. "I'm here right now because this is a strong woman's act, okay?" She then started to reduce a practical joke in which she shouted the song's lyrics rather than spoke. At the 2016, he then picked on her one more. Her activism won her an Oscar. Chris Rock was aware she had been acting strangely from the start. Because of this, many people were reluctant to collaborate with her, because despite her best efforts, she stirs up controversy. Number 2. Resents women. Jade, in particular, has never been shy about speaking up. In a single episode of her Red Table talk show, the whole world could see Jada. She stated that she found it hard to be interested in relationships with white individuals. That because of the bullying she had in school, she was prejudiced against white women, particularly those with blonde hair. She continued by saying, "I must acknowledge my culpability thing in some measure, because I do have prejudices of my own, specifically with regard to blonde women with blonde hair. White ladies trigger me. I have to stop myself." She next moved to address. She became aware of her own hypocrisy. She claimed that because of her background, she had no right to categorize an elderly blonde woman in the same group. However, she was still going to keep doing it and attack. Number 1. Today, there is disdain. Jada Pinkett Smith's unimpressed response would be seen in the video when it reappeared. Will Smith has been planning a surprise birthday celebration for 3 years. The video would cause internet controversy. Will decided to host an elaborate party for Jada's 40th birthday after her 37th birthday was over. But when that date eventually arrived, things didn't go as Will had anticipated, and in fact, her reaction wasn't the best. Will's life was brought to a low point by Jada, who later tore him apart on her Red Table Talk show. She was going through a midlife crisis when she admitted to the actor. She regarded his gesture as nothing more than a ludicrous act of ego. Everyone seemed to feel that the celebration wasn't for her, she thought. He treated her like a queen, and Jada's answer was impolite and unpleasant. He was essentially treated like a peasant by her in the end. This concludes the video. Thanks for watching.